microphone, you know that's Reverend Mary.
Check.
Give her a
There we go.
hand.
Yeah.
Reverend Mary.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. I'm so happy that this morning I have a good friend of mine for many years. We don't like to talk about how long, but we go back quite a ways. My brother from another mother, Carl Vincent on the bass.
Yay, Carl.
Is that okay? Did I say that? Is that all right? All right. Seeing as my parents adopted you, it should be okay. And then, you ready? All right. On the percussion, Oliver Brown.
Yay, Oliver.
And you know, Billy, because he's got his beret on. He showed up for the Easter service. He didn't have the beret on. I didn't recognize him. I didn't know who he was. But there's Billy, and Andrea. Now wait. She said because when you see Andrea, you don't know if it's Andrea or you don't know how to say it. No, I didn't. No, I said it's Andrea. Andrea. Okay, so I'm sorry. Andrea. And see, I got up just purposely to say it correctly and did it incorrectly. So Andrea, right? Okay.
Yay.
Can we all say that together?
Andrea. We
She
got
said
it.
some places she'd go and they introduce her wrong, and so the whole congregation mispronounces her name. I promise I'll never.
You didn't know this was a comedy show here, did you?
I didn't. And I'll promise you I'll never say it wrong until the next time.
Here we go.
Woke up this morning with my
mind.
My mind was
Stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind.
mine was.
Stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. 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 Walking
And talking with my mind. My mind was.
Stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind. Stayed on spirit.
Walking and talking with
my mind.
my mind was.
Stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. 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 Dancing and singing with my mind.
My mind was.
Stayed on spirit. Dancing and singing with my mind.
My mind was.
Stayed on spirit. Dancing and singing with my mind.
Mine was.
Stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
It won't do harm to do your mind.
Stayed on spirit.
It won't
Ain't
do
no
harm to keep your mind. Your mind was.
Stayed on spirit. Ain't no harm to keep your mind. Stayed on spirit.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Now hang on a second. Hang on.
Hallelujah.
Come on back, man. No. Everybody do this. Just do this. All right. Now I think we can do a little better than that. All right. So let's do the last one. Woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on spirit. 1, 2. You know what to do.
Woke up this morning with my mind.
There you go.
Stayed
All right.
on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Woke up this
Oh
morning
yeah,
with my
now we
mind.
hear. Stayed on spirit. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Do it again. Hallelujah. 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 Do one more for me.
One more time.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Woo! Excellent job. Please look at your neighbor and greet them with love.
Good morning, wonderful people here. Can you hear me? Good morning, wonderful people here at the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. I am H.R. Norwood, your appointed greeter for today. If you're here for the first time, please raise your hand or stand if you can, and a greeter will give you a gift package for your attendance. Within each of us is the secret of the Most High, the sacred name of God. God is mine, mine is God. There is not a spot where God is not. Everyone must discover God in their own way, but always within yourself. We are God-fed, God-led, God-protected, God-directed. Now for our famous musicians and Andrea.
Good morning. Y'all are beautiful. Yeah. Might sound crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon, I could fly to space with the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness means to you. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Ooh. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got, don't hold back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness means to you. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Ooh. Can't nothing bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down. Can't nothing bring me. Anything gonna bring y'all down? Is anything gonna bring you down? No. Yeah. Happy, 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 happy. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness means to you. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Ooh. Thank you.
I did peek to see if you're all bopping to the music. Morning, everybody. And thank you, Andrea. Love that song. When I first read the title of Dr. Moira's talk this morning, excuse me, I'm tidying up. I went to this place of going, I better be spiritually lofty. And then, as usual, I ignored myself and went down another path. Because each one of us already has spiritual roots, whether we know it or not. And they're all different, and they're not necessarily those we might be boasting about. But if we continue with that garden theme, whatever we plant will show when it grows, and it shows obviously more to other people than us sometimes. In Ernest Holmes' book, Living the Science of Mind, he writes, "We believe that we're rooted in pure spirit, that we're a spiritual entity right now, here, in this world, and that it's impossible for a person to be completely well physically unless they're happy mentally." So we know that in our philosophy, a lot of emphasis is put on healing our thoughts. And we know that that's the paradigm through which we view our lives. And when things happen to us, that's what helps us develop our belief system. So we try and heal physical ailments or conditions, and we forget to look at the spiritual roots behind that appearance. Now, it's not a condemnation of any of us that are having challenges, and we shouldn't be judging each other if we have challenges, or ourselves for that matter. But it's an avenue we might take to explore why things happen to us the way they do. We can have feelings of loss or being abandoned or rejected, emotional and physical abuse, guilt or sadness that makes us build up these walls of protection so no one can hurt us anymore. But those walls block us from experiencing life to the full. And those are the things we need to heal. We need to be able to open ourselves up to be vulnerable and experience all the joys of living. I was reading something that said, you know, in the old days we were told to suppress our feelings. And then we learned to express our feelings. It's sort of like, is coffee good or bad for you? But so if we suppress them, it spoils our relationship. Thank you, Andrea. She just got it, I think. So when we suppress them, we can, it's bad for our health. When we express them, it can be bad for our relationships. So in the middle of all that, I read this thing where it says, let's interrupt them. And I have a suggestion. So when we get reactions to things that we know are questionable, we interrupt them. We don't suppress them, we don't express them, we just interrupt them. And if you need to remember that, you just think of Caesar and dogs. No, I'm not suggesting you do this in public if you don't have a dog. But you can do it mentally. So our spiritual roots grow from our reactions to what happens to us, with faith or fear. When we see God in everything, we grow our faith. When we look at everything with fear, we're growing all our beliefs around that fear. They become a part of our roots, and that's what expresses in our life. No more wondering what happened or why me or why did God do this to me. We need to look at our spiritual roots. And if they're good for us, nurture them, water them, feed them. If they're not good, haul them out. So, with that in mind, repeat after me. Today I choose love over fear. I let go of worn-out ideas, things, and beliefs that no longer serve me. I knew that was too long, but you get the gist of it. So I start trusting myself and live joyously and fearlessly. And now let's stand for the congregational song.
I let the love wash over me. I let Yes, I let the love wash over me. I let it be. I let the joy wash over me. I let it be. I let the joy wash over me. I let it be. Now we're gonna do peace. I let the peace wash over me. I let it be. One more time. I let the peace wash over me. I let it be. Yes, I let it be. I let it be. Wonderful. Let's welcome up Maureen to share our announcements with us.
I just love pretending to be a teen so much I just have to do it again more and more and more. But before I begin, I know Reverend Mary just asked me to tell you guys that Bruce Lett is not gone. He's just taking a vacation, so he will be back. But we have a fantastic bass player with us right now. But just wanted to pass that information along to everybody. The annual meeting is today after second service. You must be a 2018 paid member to attend the meeting. We encourage everyone who is a member to attend. Visiting with Dr. Moira is on Mondays at 6 p.m. Men's Spirit Group meets Monday, April 9th at 7 p.m. Science of Mind classes continue with Dr. Moira teaching spiritual law on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. and Reverend Catherine teaching the Essential Ernest Holmes on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. The Teen Luncheon fundraiser this year is Up, Up, and Away on Sunday, April 22nd at 12:30 p.m. There will be a silent auction as well as lunch. All monies raised go to help teens attend teen camp this summer. Tickets can be purchased at the front desk. Volunteer Awareness Day is Sunday, April 29th at 12:30 p.m. in Richelieu Hall. There will be light refreshments, music, and inspiration. The committee planning this event promises to entertain you, provide you with light refreshments, and demonstrate many opportunities you have to serve. And for me personally, I know I have volunteered probably since I was about 9 years old, based on my mother wanting to help me help volunteer as well, so I was dragged along with her. But I continue to do it because you get more out of volunteering than you may think. And also, since I do work in the youth church area, I know those of you in here who have brought youth with you today, because I see some faces in here that I always see every Sunday dropping the kids off. You know how important the junior church is to them. And we want to make sure that those of you who have young kids and teens, they have a place to go to on Sunday mornings while you yourself get to experience Science of Mind and while they are learning Science of Mind as well. However, we need more people to help do that. We need enough people over in junior church so every single youth that walks through that door feels completely supported and uplifted, and they feel excited to come back. So if there's any little niggling part in your brain that feels like maybe this would be something that interests me, please come to this event on the 29th. Both myself and Reverend Carol will be there to answer any questions you may have. And again, you do get so much more out of volunteering than at first glance, so I highly recommend it. The Arrowhead Retreat is fast approaching. It is from May 25th to the 28th this year over Memorial Day weekend. You will enjoy spiritually uplifting and motivating workshops and seminars in a spectacular setting. Among our guest speakers will be Dr. Sue Rubin, Reverend Mike McMorrow, Reverend Steve Rambo, and Dr. Moira. Daniel Neymar will be with us as well. Please see the people at the front desk for more information and an application. Applications must be paid in full by April 15th. We always have practitioners on duty. Look for them under the practitioner sign in the foyer. We also offer prayer circle after both services. If you'd like to be a part of it, please come to the grand piano after service. Please remain seated for the meditation song.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
And so, here I am in this wonderful moment now, so that my conscious thought can indeed be prayerfully creating an opportunity for me to realize some great good that is desirous of expressing itself through me now. And there is always some good that wants to express itself through me at any given time, when I have ears to hear it, and when I am mindful enough to respond to it, and when I have the heart enough to come into agreement with it. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I pause for a moment, and I ask that inner, deeper mind of myself, awareness of myself, what is it? What is this good that wishes to express itself through me right now? Speak, for I am listening. What is this good? And so I remind myself, because that good has made itself present to me, I can indeed realize it. Because the good that wishes to express through me is a divine desire that I have accommodated and that I will allow to express and flow through me into my life as an experience that is for my good and the good of all. And that's how the creative process works, and that's how my good appears. When I am in the flow of conscious awareness that I am its conduit, and when I say yes to that good that desires to express itself in and through and by means of me. And so I bless myself, and I know that creative process has already begun. And I am looking indeed to the completed outcome already, knowing that good is there for me and I am supposed to experience it. And what I'm knowing for myself, I am knowing for every person on this plane, the strength and the power of the creative process running consciously through all. And I bless everything and I bless everyone. And so now I release as I relax and let go of this intention to go forward and accomplish that whereunto I send it, knowing that if I know it is so, it has to be, and so I say, and so it is.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
And so, my dear one, Sunday again, how quickly it happens. And we're moving more deeply now into this month of April with its focus upon where humanity and divinity meet. And it's an outflow of the understanding and the awareness that we are rooted, deeply rooted in divinity. Can you imagine it? You and I being able to wake up every day knowing I'm rooted in divinity today. And so we go forward then with that idea, backing us up, empowering us, and strengthening us. Divinity. So where does divinity and humanity meet is the question. Well, it meets in you, and it meets in me. That's where humanity and divinity meet each other. And what you and I are engaged in doing now is to find the blend between the two, not to be more of one thing and less than another, because even though divinity and humanity are two levels, they're two levels of awareness, they're not levels like this, one being higher and one being lower. They're just two levels. And wherever you and I put our consciousness will create the balance or imbalance. It'll either make one more prominent and prevalent in our lives or another more prominent and prevalent in our lives. But that's not what we want. We want the balance. We are told that the enlightened one is the one who has found complete union and balance between the two, humanity and divinity. And to find that balance is to become consciously Christed or enlightened, we are told. That is the Christ within us, the perfect blend of humanity and divinity. You see, because there's no lesser or greater, because it's all God anyway, if everything is known as all being the one life, the one power, the one presence, the one infinite being, the one God. It's all the one thing, showing up in a diverse amount of ways, I grant you. Unity in diversity, which is a beautiful thing. And we wouldn't want it any other way, because my goodness, if we're all the one thing, how boring would that be? We want the diversity. We want the experience of diversity. And that different individualized way, the one thing can appear. And so thinking about humanity and divinity for me it's a beautiful way to think about it, is to think of a tree. A tree has deep, wide roots, and then the sap from the roots, the life force, goes up, flows up through the trunk that unites the two aspects, unites the roots with the branches and the leaves. Now the roots are hidden, unseen, underneath. That's where they are. The branches and the leaves are very easy to see. There they are. And this beautiful trunk is the channel of energy that takes the beautiful divine aspect up into the human aspect and displays the human aspect in all its glory. And if you look at the flowering trees at the moment, you see, oh my goodness me, it's easy to see how nature sings the praises of the one power and the one presence and the one infinite being. And so that's what you and I are endeavoring to do, to understand how the whole works together and not separate them or divide them into this and that. I'm more human today today, or today I'm more divine. No, we don't want to be more human today or more divine today. We want to be the beautiful blend of the two. We want to be in that state of balance. That's what we want to be. Now, how do we come into that experience in our lives? Well, I can assure you, it's not just by sitting, as I was saying this morning, in our own little corner, in our own little room, on our own little chair, studying all the beautiful masters and all the wonderful scriptures and all of the metaphysical studies and all of the art studies and all of the literature studies and so on and so forth, etc. It's not going to happen that way. That's a beautiful thing to do, and it does help. But as you see, all of these things are saying the one thing in their own poetic way, in their own scientific way, in their own metaphysical way, in their own, linguistic way. But they're all saying the one thing. But you and I have to find a language in our day-to-day life and living that serves us not only when we're in the quietness of the garden or the quietness of the walk or the quietness of our meditation chair or room or whatever. We have to be able to find that out in the hustle and the bustle and the dissonance of the marketplace too, you see. And when we can find it in both places, we know we're getting there with regard to the blend, because it's all God, it's all life happening, all life happening. Life happens by means of every living thing, and everything is living. And so that's what we're here to know, and that's what we're here to experience, to find the common language that we all can speak and understand. Now, if you go to Ernest Holmes' papers, early papers, you'll find him saying there's only 3 important things that matter, and if you get these 3 important things under your belt, you'll know what it is to be happy. And the first thing he says is we have to come into the understanding and realization there's only one. There's only one God, there's only one life living in all, moving through all, existing in all. Only one life, one God, one power, one force, whatever you want to call it. It's important to get that really embodied within us, to understand that. And then he said the next thing is to understand that one power and its creative force responds precisely and mathematically all the time to our thought. It responds all the time to our thought. And then he said the third thing is, add 11th commandment. Love one another as you have been loved. Love one another as I have loved you. So he's talking about understanding unity, the unity of all of life and all of us in it. And then he's talking about what's your thought, its power. And then he's saying love is the answer if you want to be happy. Now, Immanuel Kant, on the other hand, said, if you want to be happy, he said, this is what needs to happen. You need to have something to do. You need to have someone to love. And you need to look forward to something. That's what Immanuel Kant would say. You need to get up every day knowing there's something wonderful for you to do. There's something for you to do that you can do and only you can do and no one else can do it. And if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. And then you need to have someone to love. Begin with yourself, and then you'll have no problem finding someone to love, and not just someone, but everything and everyone to love. So love is a very important factor. You need to love, in other words. You need to love. And he's saying you need to bring love. You need to give love to something, someone. Start here. That's the key. And then we all need to have something to look forward to. I can tell you this much. If we get up in the day choosing something to do that's going to make a difference, and if we can get up in the day ready to give love, we'll always have something wonderful to look forward to. Always. And we will all the time fall forward. We'll never fall backwards. And when we're leaning, let us lean into the forward thing that we're looking forward to. And for you and for me, it's always going to be the one thing that will drive that. And that is, I'm always looking forward to being more and more and more of my best self. I'm always looking forward to discovering more and more of everybody else's best self. I'm always looking forward into that. And then I will be experiencing, just as a secondary cause, this thing called unity in diversity. Now, Ernest Holmes says emphatically in his writings, he says, there's no such thing as an individual anything. There is no such thing as an individual anything. No such thing. No such thing as an individual anything. Because you and I are shot through in everything and everyone is shot through in us and through us. We're all the one thing. There's no individual anything. There is, however, an individualized expression of the one thing. But there's no individual anything. I thought, I was reading that for the first time this week, and I've read this over and over again, but it hit me in such a way that I kind of got it at a deeper level than I'd been getting it before. So I got really jazzed and excited again about the understanding and the realization that the one life individualized itself in you and in me and everything and everyone. And why wouldn't I be okay, therefore, with you and me and everything else and everyone? Because God is individualized in every you and me and everything and everyone else too. And it goes on to say in these books that the only time that we disappoint ourselves or get unhappy is when we make everything about me. We forget the I amness of ourselves, the oneness of ourselves, and we think there are individual things. We think there are individual ones. And we make everything about me or you. You being your fault. Your fault. That I feel this way, etc. And then, of course it's all about me. Be aware. It's all about me. I think it's worth making it all about me. I want my way. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? You see. So we have to stop the memes. I mean, when we're all going to, for as long as we're wearing bodies, we're going to get bouts of memes. It'll always be that way. But we'll catch ourselves on more quickly when we're coming from more of the I am presence in awareness of everything and everyone else around me. Wouldn't that be, just think of how glorious and sweet and gorgeous that would be if I had the honoring, if I had the respect, if I had the recognition that your opinion is your opinion, and it's okay, as long as it's not doing any harm to anything or anyone or to yourself. That's a perfectly okay thing. And I can honor that, and I can respect that, and I can allow that. And I don't have to try and convince you that my opinion is better than your opinion. And what's the matter with you anyway? How could you be so stupid to think that? I mean, really and truly, I don't have to impose on you my opinion at all. And understand, I will not have you impose yours on me. But let's honor each other's opinions, but not go into attack and defense mode because we have different opinions, and not separate ourselves from each other because we have different opinions. That's silly. Because we're always going to have different opinions. Look at a household, look at any family, look at the difference of opinions under the one roof, for heaven's sakes. Look at yourself and how your own opinions change. And one is offshooting the other and trying to cancel out the other and so on. You have all these arguments going on in your mind sometimes, you know? So it's no wonder that that's going to be what we're going to meet in the world. But you and I ought to be able to move through that out in the marketplace with its dissonance and so on and so forth. Unperturbed, undisturbed by it. It's an opinion. It's not the truth. God knows very little is the truth. So we're not going to make facts or opinions things that are going to upset us in a way that makes us less than human, never mind less than divine. Because it's in violence, and it is in clashes, and it is in resistance and so on, that we forget who we are. We really do forget who we are. And who we are is this most wonderful, amazing, incredible thing. Now, here's how it works. When we're talking about Ernest Holmes saying there's one life in and through and working through us all, and its amazing creative process responds to our thought, here's how it works. I am a point of amazing intelligence, operating in a field of intelligence that I create through my thinking and through my feeling. So the energy that I am and the energy that you experience around me or I around you has come from my thinking and my feeling. And I'm radiating that. I'm radiating that. But more than that, so here I am, my thought and my feeling together, my convictions and my thoughts have produced this energy center that I am, a micro energy center in a macro field of energy. Now, what happens is that this energy that I create through my thinking and feeling is radiating in me and around me, above me and below me, and then all of cosmic radiating energy, consciousness, moves into it, amplifies it, and radiates it out into everything there is. It's awesome. But I don't want to be pulsating and radiating to anything negative, because that's how awesome I can feel it pulsing in me right now. That's how awesome that radiating energy is. So, as Ernest Holmes reminds us, there are two significant things that's going to make, break, upset, or cause us to be happy in our lives. And those two things are thought and time. Thought and time. How am I going to spend my time? How am I going to use my thought while I'm here? Because those two decisions will decide what I'm pulsating to, what I'm radiating, and so on. Those two things will decide what I have to do, how I can bring love, and what I can lean into to look forward to. It's awesome. It's an amazing thing to be so empowered, to have embodied this awareness and to be so empowered. I need never, ever feel helpless or hopeless again. Think about it. I don't have to wish a thing to be. I don't have to force a thing to be. I don't have to cajole or manipulate a thing to be. I don't have to hold a thought for something to be. All I have to do is to say yes to the good, whatever it is I choose to realize or that wants to demonstrate and express itself through me. I only have to think the thought and allow myself to feel what that feels like if that was already in place. And then I'm pulsating, radiating this powerful energy, and the cosmic force of the creative process is moving in on top of it and through it and as it and moving out into all that is to act as a magnetic field to bring that experience through into my life. The power of it, the awesomeness of that. I mean, really and truly, we're running around like ants when we could be giants of mindfulness, thoughtfulness, unity, balance, and oneness. We wouldn't have to be ants in a trance. Although I wonder if ants indeed are in a trance. That's the question. That's to be investigated. Anyway, what is it going to be for you and for me this week? I mean, what is this use of time and thought for you and for me this week? How is it going to affect my happiness, my joy? Because my happiness and my joy affects yours. If I'm a miserable you-know-what's-it and I show up, you don't want to have that kind of energy around you. You really don't. You don't need that. So how I'm choosing to use my time and how I'm choosing to think my thoughts and how I'm choosing to feel my feelings, there you have it. There's nothing else for you and I to focus on. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Be sure you know what you're thinking. Be sure to know what you're feeling. And be sure as heck you know what you're choosing as a result of that. Because out of that will flow the experiences of your life and the lives of those around you. And not only the lives of those of you around you, but all of life, all of life. Because when I'm going up, I'm bringing all of life up with me. And when I'm going down, I'm taking all of life down with me. That's how energy works, and that's what we are. Go back to the tree, the tree, the tree. Roots underneath unseen, the unseen energy aspect of our being, and then the beautiful leaves and branches and so on of those roots, the visible, the very visible and the very experiential aspect of life and living. I can see your branches and your leaves, you can see mine, but you can't see my roots, and I can't see you. Well, I don't know if you can see the roots or not. There are times maybe when you can see certain roots, but the thing about this is it's easier than we think. We don't have to worry about understanding all those weird kind of concepts in those books we read that are not exactly our normal everyday verbiage or reading. We really don't. We just have to get the essence of it. And the essence of it is you are what you think, you are what you feel. You are what you think and you are what you feel. And what you are in your thinking and your feeling is what you have chosen to think and feel. Or unconsciously allowed it. So we must not go unconscious, you see, because if we go unconscious, we're going to experience random thought, random feeling, and random living, and that's like throwing the dice. You never know what's going to be the result of that one. You want to be mindfully thinking, mindfully feeling, and mindfully aware of yourself. And for that to happen, you need to be here now. You can't be leaning back into the past, and you can't be leaning too far forward into the future, trying to be a soothsayer and predict whatever. No, the future will take care of itself when you take care of here and now and today. So here it is. Once again, I will remind you, you are a macrocosm of life and light and love and peace and beauty and power, wisdom and knowledge and understanding and any other good thing you can think of. You're a macrocosm of that, but that macrocosm is contained within the whole microcosm. And here's the conundrum. You, as a microcosm of life, can express the macrocosm of it all. How awesome is that? That a big, huge thing can fit into a tiny little thing and be fully expressed through the tiny little thing. That's you. That's me. What the hey are we doing with all of this power that's available to us? I mean, when are we going to get it? I don't have to ever be miserable again for a moment in my life, and neither do you, regardless of what's going on. See, that's how the great ones moved into that balance. They could see no differentiation between their humanity and their divinity, between their formlessness and their form. And because they could see no difference between their formlessness and their form had to conform to their formlessness, which was absolutely, incredibly, amazingly talented in its ability to mend, fix, and heal whatever happened with the form. It's here. It's now. You don't have to wait another second to be this empowered, because you always were empowered, you are empowered, you always will be empowered. It's just a question of where is the level of your consciousness. That's the question for this week. Well, I'm knowing for everybody here that everybody's level of consciousness is going to whoop through the roof. So take out that thing and hit that thing that hits that gong that shoots it through the air with regard to a level of consciousness, and be who you are, because that's what you are and who you are. So namaste to you all, and so it is. It's true. It's true. You're an amazing you. All right. At this point now we have a little sharing, and it's always so uplifting to hear these sharings, and we couldn't have them without you sitting there forming a community to offer the opportunity for all of us to have these experiences.
Dear friends, I am so glad and proud to be part of a center that supports us so well and so lovingly, especially in times of challenges in our lives. I know I'm not the only person who has faced challenges, but I am feeling so grateful for all of the love and support I feel for such a happy outcome to my challenge. And I believe it is because of the prayers and loving support I have received. Thank you, thank you.
And how wonderful that is, isn't it? I never take those for granted. It's just beautiful, and all of us could be writing these things indeed, and I know everybody in this room has had those kinds of demonstrations. So I've left my envelope on my desk, but the Reverend Catherine will make a beeline for it and make sure it goes into the collection. I know that. So let's take our gift between our hands and say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is.
I love her. Do y'all love her? I am an opening for love. The only thing that sets me free. I am an opening for God. For God I am, God is me. Hey, I am free. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a place, it's where I go. A land of love, a land of hope, where grace and harmony reside. It's where I live, it's where I thrive. Hey, I am free. See the light in me, the light in you pierces the veil of illusion. Come on, shine your light, shine your light. Time and space, other dimensions, the way that I see things, the way that I feel things. I trust God, I know that she loves me, I know she protects me, I know he prepares me to do the things I came here to do. So I choose to love, I choose to grow. Hey, I am free. I am free. 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 Free.
Well, there you have it, the lady who brings it every time she comes. And yes, indeed, she's free. And I'm sure we're all knowing it for the self of the rest of us too. And we have great music today and always. And so, but as they say, heard music is sweet, but unheard music is sweeter. Can you imagine anything sweeter than that? Well, yes, you could, because it's within you. The songs of the spheres and the music of the universe, and here I go again, put me out, because we'll be on to another get together. I just want to remind us all that you can take your beautiful cards from the board out there, and thank you all for shining your light up here in Easter with the lilies and so forth. You can also take a lily home with you. And you know, if you really and truly want to have the experience for 4 days of what a spiritual community is like to live in, I would strongly recommend Arrowhead, because that's what we all feel. It's like a laboratory. Every year we go up there and we're experimenting with what a spiritual community is. And it's the most glorious 4 days. I mean, people just being together, very present to each other. That's what I've noticed in a spiritual community. People are so present to each other and each other's needs. So if this has been something you've been playing around with for a while, it is well worth the whole investment, time, effort, energy, and finances and everything else. To live in a spiritual community for 4 days is such a treat. And so, my dear ones, go into the week knowing all is well, because if you know it's all well, you're setting up the energy for that. So keep knowing it is all well, and wherever you are, if a need crosses your path, always endeavor to meet it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to look for needs or look for causes. They will find you. And when they find you, if you can meet that need, try and meet it, because the universe always says, yes. All right, we're going to dedicate our prayer today to, of course, peace on this plane and goodwill running to and through us all. Very deeply and sincerely, that's our desire. And so we pray. I know divine love enfolds me, divine light leads me, divine life lives in me, divine wisdom inspires me, divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and a deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only love, there is only love, there is only love. And there will be prayer at the piano and practitioners available. But most especially, we have our meeting after this service. And we would love if our members would attend, because we always love hanging out and sharing what's going on and what's coming down. So go have a quick cup of coffee and so on, and we'll see you back in the sanctuary. So let's stand for our song now.